Coming at you live from DHQ in beautiful South Pasadena, California. This is the Blue Heaven Podcast. No pausing, no time for breath. We're not letting anything eat tonight because we got a lot to talk about. What's going on, Dodger Nation? My name is Clint. You can find me as Real FRG on Twitter and Instagram. I almost said my last name. I was like, why would I do that?
You're pretty hyped up today. You doing all right? What's in that cup? What's up, guys? My name is Brooke. You can find me at BrookeMe3 on Twitter and Instagram. Not nearly as hyped as he is, but that's okay. On today's show, the Dodgers have a new GM. The Dodgers have a GM, which they haven't had one in many years, since Farhan's laptop, I'm told.
If they haven't had one that long, did they really need one? This is questions somebody asked. There is some movement on the MLB Lockout front, and we're going to talk about that today. There's also the electronic strike zone. The robot umps are getting that much closer to MLB. So we're going to talk about that. Maybe talk a little crap about Angel Hernandez because nobody likes that guy. $330 million to Carlos Correa. Hold on, wait, I have that. There it is.
There it is.
It's a lot of money. So we'll talk about that and a whole lot more on today's episode of the Blue Haven Show. Before we get into the show, we got to remind you this is a podcast. So if you can't be here to watch us, do subscribe and listen to us on the internet on your phone thing, which is iTunes and Spotify and iHeartRadio, Google Play, Stitcher, Pandora, everywhere your podcasts are available for free. We live there. And yeah. Also, do subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/DodgersNationTV. You'll be happy you did. We'll be glad you did. Doug will do a barrel roll.
Yeah, he will. Doug gets real happy about stuff, guys, so don't let him down. I don't know how you could ever let down Doug. No one has ever let down Doug in his life. It's like that spider that was in his blinds that one time. Guys, don't forget this is a live show. We do this every Monday, and we're going to do this every Monday for the rest of the year, in addition to, the
rest of our lives.
All of the playoff things that we do. So make sure you drop into the comments. Let us know where you're up in Dodgers Nation tonight. We want to hear from you. We want to see how you're doing. Luis is checking in on... Very interesting how this happened and this played out, but I'm going to roll with it because on YouTube, he checked in as the first comment, but said second. And then after that, Daniel checked in as third. Roach checked in as number 420. And so on and so forth.
We appreciate a good troll.
Corey Simmons over on YouTube checking in says, long-time listener, first-time viewer. Congratulations. Thanks for being here. It's a lot of fun to have you live and in person because then we get to actually talk to you. But also, if you just listen to the podcast side of things, I hope your workday is going well. Tell your boss I hate you.
Ricky Rubio's checking in. Says, please don't talk football. This is a baseball show. How about that football this weekend?
Oh, man, I love me some footballs, man.
Oh, yeah. The Rams did a sports...
I will say, this is a baseball podcast. You're correct, but that was the best weekend of football I've ever seen in my entire life. That was great.
When
3 walk-off field goals.
When you would like to have seen something better happen in the Josh Allen game.
Yeah.
But when football has meaning in that final 5 minutes, 3 minutes, it's just so much better instead of just watching them run out the clock. And this is why baseball is that much better because everybody gets 27 outs if you need them. Brian Balding is in the stream. He says, what's up, guys? Let's go LA Dodgers. Thanks for hanging out with us. Brian over on Facebook. Tim Rogers, our friend SD Dodger Tim. Check him out on the YouTube Dodgers 2080. Tim is bummed he didn't get the DM for the GM job.
I would have liked to see Tim take that job. I mean, Tim,
there would have been no trades.
To be fair, no prospects would have been moved in those deals, which is great. I love and support you. That's cool. See, even Austin wants to talk about the Rams game. So you know what? Yeah, we'll do that at some point.
Didn't you want to talk about the Lakers for some ungodly reason? Lake Show.
Baseball come back.
Baseball come back. We're getting closer, it seems like. We got Audio Outlaw asking, where's the Matt Kemp head? Matt Kemp is over there. We don't have the camera set up there.
He's at the producer desk.
This is our second week in the office, and we're still settling a lot of things. As you can see, we have a new angle of our dangle here. There's lights and things going on behind us. If we look good, let us know. If we don't, that's
just
hurtful.
My face, and I'm very sorry about that.
It's very hurtful. Lynn Brown in the stream saying, of course, Chico rules. Like Chico State. Chico went big league on us. You know that?
The place? Yeah. That tends to happen. Juice Nero's over on YouTube checking in and said, you guys were on time today. Progress. New year, still us. I don't know. There's not a good way to follow that up. We're the same people. We don't have any life goals.
Dave Luna says, glad we could all be together on the anniversary of Brooks' mom's worst mistake. Happy birthday,
Let's
Brooks.
go, Mom. Let's go, Mom.
It is that. Somebody got a your mom joke at you.
Oh, my God.
How the turntables have turned.
The student becomes the teacher.
So Brooke is celebrating being a year older tomorrow, actually. So cheers and happy birthday, dear comrade. We somebody appreciates you out there. I'm sure.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Another trip around the sun.
And to celebrate, I'm drinking the rest of his Tito's that he left here.
Someone's got to do it, guys.
Don't worry, fresh Tito's in the future or something like that. Josh gets in the stream, said dig the new office. Looks spacey, it is, and it's also very echoey, which isn't going to bother me as much this week, I promise. But we're going to work on that. It's also really weird being in here with just us.
Oh, like with no other people in here right now?
Like, this is a massive space for what we're coming out of, and it's just us in here. It's very peculiar. When we were doing shows in here back in 2019, we usually had 4 or 5 other people in the office while we were doing these, and it just made it more fun and more lively, and it also it deadened some of the echo because there was more human flesh. But now
I remember having a live studio audience. Yeah, that was interesting times. With T just staring at us over there.
We're selling tickets, $5,000 each. Hatfield's in the stream. What's going on, Hatfield? Good to see you. We got Ari in the stream saying happy birthday, Brooke, with a face. There's a face.
That is a face.
Ryan says never listener, never caller. We appreciate that.
That's what's up. Leslie Taylor also said happy birthday. Leslie's kids are over in Universal today.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. I was invited to go, but I obviously could not because I have a job. It's not a real job, but I have one.
Tim says he would have made that Max and Trey Turner deal, which traded away the Dodgers number 1 and number 2.
Tim has turned a corner in terms of his willingness to move prospects. Yeah, I think we should reevaluate the GM position and throw his hat back in the ring. Tim, I got you.
Lynn Brown says the Brooklyn Cup rules. Thank you. This is from our friends over at Vintage Brand, who have a longtime friends of ours over here. Check them out, vintagebrand.com. There's usually always a discount code over there. We love our friends at Vintage Brand, and hopefully we'll be working more with them directly again as the season comes up. If there's baseball, we really hope there's baseball. They just got home.
Ashley.
The Tellez crowd. Clan?
The crowd?
Clan? Is 2 a crowd? 2 is a crowd, I think they say. All right, enough of this crap. Let's move on. Let's get into the things we have written down that we want to talk about. Guys, the Dodgers named a general manager after... Wait, when did Farhan leave? 2019?
I don't even remember. The past 2 years have been such a weird blur that I don't know where I am anymore.
Yeah, so the Brandon Gomes was named the 12th GM in franchise history. That is not a thing I confirmed. I just read it somewhere, so I assume it's true if it's on the internet. It seems like a somewhat odd move just because it sounds like really nothing's going to change for him. They tried to make something out of nothing with his introductory odd Zoom call. It's even worse when you can't talk about player movement, talk about things that you would want to do as GM. But yeah, he had been an assistant general manager. The Dodgers have lost some of those guys over the last couple of years with people like Alex Anthopoulos going away. And, I mean, I don't remember them all, but the list always goes on and on. The Dodgers are usually stolen from. But
the good news is Andrew Friedman has somebody to point at when they want to say fire somebody.
Exactly.
So now fire Brandon Gomes.
Now there's a new figurehead to have to answer questions. But yeah, I mean, there was no roles really revealed. There was nothing assigned. It was
like when I got this job.
It was just, quote, divide and conquer, which sounds like, it was just a title change.
Good for him. Hopefully, you can
give him some of that scratch.
Yeah, why not? They got money to burn, apparently.
Somebody said that. Yeah. It was somebody on the internet.
Internet guys.
I think it was Rosenthal. Kenny Rosenthal said that.
Austin Lambert also points out that the GM sounds like Andrew Friedman's brother. He actually just sounds like identical to Andrew Friedman, and it's very confusing, and it's going to make for some hella weird radio interviews for sure, because I'm going to be like, who the hell is this?
He was just strapped to a chair and had his eyes taped open watching old Andrew Friedman interviews, and whoever got the cadence and the answer non-answer down the best, I think they got the job. So that's why Gomesies, as I'm calling him, Gomer got the job. Now I like Gomesies because they're like kind of a Z's kind of guy. But the big question is, what is going to be his first move after becoming the general manager now? When the floodgates as heard here on Dodgers Nation's Blue Haven show by this guy, the floodgates open in player movement. What should be his first move? What do you think is his first move?
Well, look, here's the good news for him. He's in a position now where
Which
he's
is general
fortunate
manager.
enough to be able to make an impact move, one that we will remember for a very long time because of the situation with the lockout and the fact that players can't sign. If he wants to make right with fans and get started off on the right foot and be remembered as that guy, he'll give a nice little contract to Mr. Clayton Kershaw and get things rolling and get the free agency ball started, and things will look real good from there. He can't make any mistakes from there.
You can't lose if you go out and sign Clayton Kershaw. You're going to very much endear yourself to the fans, as long as he's not going out and like re-signing. I don't know. Who's that guy that we don't like? Steven Souza.
Oof.
I mean,
Or
we
Billy
like
McKinney.
him. Go trade back for Billy McKinney, and then people are going to be coming after you. But Kershaw's probably the smartest move. Like this guy said, there are other options of moves that we've talked about ad nauseum over this long, dreadful off season. There's new news, sort of, on the free agent front or the hot stove front with popular names like Freddie Freeman and unpopular names like Carlos Correa. Starting with Correa, apparently he wants a lot of money. He wants the bag and a half. $330 million is his reported asking price, or $330 million plus $350. I think he wants to be the highest paid shortstop ever. I don't know if he has enough fans in the league to go out and get that, but he goes out. He hires Scott Boras. Look, if I'm the Dodgers and you go and give Carlos Correa more money than Corey Seager just got, that's a good way for Brandon Gomes to go and lose some fans right quick.
Yeah, I mean, he's controversial. Obviously, people are going to say whatever they want to say in terms of whether or not they want him, but I think it's safe to say at this point, given his asking price, or let's say reported asking price, because we all know how things work out there, I just don't really think that it's in the cards for them one way or another. I didn't really think they were going to get him before he hired Scott Boras, but now that he has, I think that maybe they're looking at that and going, hey, we don't want to deal with even another Scott Boras guy right now. We just can't do this. So I don't imagine that he'll get that contract. I think he'll probably, I don't even know where he's going to go, but like, I feel like his options have to be dwindling a little bit.
It's going to be less money to go to New York and play for the Yankees, or it's going to be tail between your legs going back to Houston. Nobody else has the money. Nobody else is close enough to winning, or nobody has the open spot at shortstop to go out and sign this guy. So
Austin Lambert said he's worth $275 at 8 years. I will agree because I don't know.
is UGM?
That this is Gomi.
Is that Gomes' burner account? We got Juice Nero saying, mark my words, Carlos Correa will be a Dodger by Easter. Okay.
Remember when
he signed
Nolan
later.
Arenado was supposed to be a Dodger by Christmas?
Never said which Christmas.
Is that Jim Bowden we're speaking to?
It's the ghost of Jim Bowden. Louis asks, what do you guys think on Chris Bryant? We talked about Chris Bryant a good number of times over the offseason.
A fine-looking man.
Yeah, he's very pretty.
It's about all I have to offer to that conversation.
Steamy blue eyes. Is that a descriptor for eyes? Steamy. Yeah.
Sounds painful.
He's got a fine coif of hair. Yeah. Also a good baseball player. I think he would add a lot to this team. It feels like right now the Dodgers need to add left-handed slug suddenly to the lineup. Segue, Freddie Freeman. Apparently there's now a sticking point in the Freddie Freeman thing that was, I mean, it's been known for a majority of the offseason, but Freeman and the Braves have remained apart in years in getting a contract extension done in the past, and now a free agency contract this offseason. Alden Gonzalez, ESPN, friend of the show. I mean, we haven't had him on, but we've talked to him a whole bunch. He feels the Dodgers, like most people, he feels the Dodgers can be in play. Obviously, there's a lot of connective tissue there with him being a local enough boy, him being good at baseball, and the Dodgers like good at baseball players. But he wants 6 years, and that just doesn't feel like a Dodger thing. Yes.
I'm very confused by this comment. My wife's boyfriend says Jock should come back. I don't know what it means, but I like it a lot.
It's a good comment.
That's a good way. That's a good way to derail me, guys.
Yeah, it derailed the momentum of something set up nice.
Yeah, it was real set up nice.
I don't remember what I said. I thought it was real pretty.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about Freddie coming out to L.A. Obviously, all the connective tissue is there. It makes sense on
6
paper.
years, though. Dodgers don't do 6 years, it feels like.
Well, listen.
Outside of, Mookie.
You guys can keep asking for it all you want. I just don't think that there's any situation that the Braves let Freddie Freeman walk. I mean, he's the face of the franchise. He's the guy who's been there forever. He's the guy who's made it clear that he wants to play in Atlanta long term. He's never changed from that. I don't know what would change now other than the fact that he's waiting down a new CBA to get maybe possibly a better deal or a better contract that's more ideal for his situation. I can't imagine that he is just going to walk away for a little bit of more money from Atlanta. I mean, granted, if he comes to the Dodgers, he has another shot at a title. That there's something to be said about that. He's also just coming off of a title, so I don't necessarily think that will be his singular biggest influence or deciding factor or motivator, whatever you want to call it. But I cannot envision a situation where the Braves let anybody outbid them. I just can't.
But we now look at Ken Rosenthal's report from today in The Athletic, where apparently, I think this was probably old news, but whatever. It's new again because there is no real new news. The Braves were in conversations, at least preliminary, just early talks with the Athletics and trying to get Matt Olson, which is a fine first base replacement. You go out, you win a World Series, you have a nice breakup point there. Let the man go. He wants 6 years. They don't have that kind of money, maybe. They should have money after winning a World Series, but
it all went towards Jock's pearls. Yeah, there's just too many of them.
Sign Jock, play him at first base. That'll be great.
Oh boy, here we go. We got this is a good one. I like this. We don't usually get super chatted for hate. Why Newman over YouTube says, "Why are you hating on Freeman, the Dodgers purple jersey guy?" Also, Correa is a cheating blankety blank. I'm not hating on it. I'm being realistic and using my expertise in the background of baseball and my knowledge of free agency and my knowledge of years past of how the Dodgers work and operate, and assuming that will not happen. That being said, I've been wrong many times.
I was really expecting you to say and knowledge of your mom.
I was really looking for a mom comment as I was going through that, but then I just decided to not go after the guy who just gave us $5. And I think that's reasonable. Thank you for the money that I will be using towards your mom's services. Found it.
Look, we're not going to accost you.
I hope his mom's not dead.
If we love your mom, she's a nice person.
She's been through it a few times.
Ryan says Jock at first, Lux in center field. Look, we've made it very clear here. We really hope Gavin Lux is not on this team next year. Only because he can go out and he's such a great ball player.
Gavin,
a bright
you
future.
Go out and do you.
Such a bright future in this league. He should get traded to somewhere where the Dodgers get pitching back that they need, and then he could be the star in Milwaukee. He likes that place, right?
Gavin, I heard Guangdong is really nice this time of year. So if you're looking for a place to vacation for the rest of the year, head out west of California. I don't think we're ever gonna get his love back. I just think we're at a point where it's just there's no way for it to happen.
I can't wait till we see him again. It's gonna be lovely because at this point we just hug it out and let's hug it out, bitch. I think that's what it is. Dink and Flicka. Final note: there was some, I guess, early, or I don't know, is it early? More BS on Clayton Kershaw of. Not even BS. It's just more of the same. What we know about Clayton Kershaw. But our friend Dave Vassay talked about us, talking about him. So we got this nice love triangle happening here with DV this offseason because he's one of the few people that are saying anything along the lines of the things we're saying. So he gave us a shout out in his coverage. We appreciate that. And his coverage of the Clayton Kershaw free agency. And he said, he kind of added to something he said that wasn't, I guess, an overly complete thought. But he said, while it's probable that Clayton Kershaw returns, you still need to court him like a premier free agent and make him feel wanted. So we're at that point in the relationship. You really want to love and hug and embrace him.
Everybody wants to feel wanted. You don't want to show up to a place, you go to dinner with somebody and they're just looking down at their phone and, they're kind of just, they're there, they agree to the date and they'll pay for it. They agree to that. And you matched up well on Hinge and you liked each other's pictures and everything like that. You talked about what you want to be when you grow up and stuff like that. But, you want to feel wanted. You want to feel appreciated. You want eye contact. You want love. You want forehead kisses.
Are you going out with a dog?
Yeah.
You want to cuddle? Or you want somebody to play with your paw pads?
Is that a euphemism?
I really don't know anymore. Things become things, as I said. Juice Narrows is a genius, by the way. Says Greinke over Kershaw at this point. You know, I heard some genius last week on the show who tried to get smitten down, taken down for his love of Zach Greinke.
Look, there's nothing wrong with some, classic Zach Greinke love, but when it comes at the expense of one Clayton Edward Kershaw, you're gonna take the brunt of the hit on that one. You didn't read through any of the comments on him, did you?
No, not really. I was very busy.
People weirdly upset for some reason. No one ever listens to the whole show.
Cowards.
But I'm really glad Roach clipped that just for you.
Roach, you better have some good things today, and then
compile the mom jokes for Mother's Day. That's gonna be a great Mother's Day gift.
Oh, we need that super cut, please. We need some interns in here just to get like the worst of the worst, and that's what we want. But anyways, that's our little bit on hot stove stuff right now. Hopefully we have more real, tangible, delicious hot stove news coming up soon. Of course, some people need to agree to things to make that happen, like agree to end the lockout, and the lockout was talked about today. Ooh, killing these segues, guys. It's everybody's favorite topic, the MLB lockout, and the two sides met again today in real human people form in like New York or something like that, and there were some updates.
It's not a real place.
Where allegedly there were some folk, there were folks that gave the update of, and I think one of them was Nightingale, so you always got to take that with a grain of salt. Yeah. But the union has apparently kind of backed its stance a little bit on asking for there's like three major holding points that there was no way in hell at any point in time that the players or the owners were going to agree to. But apparently the union, according to Boob here, has agreed to drop its proposal for earlier free agency. They lowered their proposal for reduced revenue sharing from $100 million to $30 million. And talks are continuing tomorrow. I think there was another part of it I have written down somewhere. Because the players were asking for, free agency by like 29.5 or something like that. Owners want to pay the younger players based on production, which never goes well. They want to do it by WAR. So this was, I think, from MLB.com. MLB's most recent proposals included significant increases in pay for players with 2+ years of MLB service time, with the best players earning even more in bonuses based on performance being wins above replacement. But still, it's going to come down to money, more money in the players, younger players' pockets, less tanking amongst the teams around the league, the lesser teams. Less service time manipulation, which is a massive thing. They're actually talking about potentially rewarding teams for having some of their top prospects on the roster for opening day, which would probably be a big thing. And they want to raise the collective, or the tax, the luxury tax and all that. But MLB wants their expanded playoffs. Anyway, any of this give you any hope yet?
Well, I mean, the fact that they're talking in the first place, that's enough hope for me. I mean, after December, after the lockout, it was like, hey, we have no plans to meet. I'm like, that's your guys' job. Like, what else are you guys going to do in the meantime? Like, they're like, Christmas is coming up. And then, we don't want to meet too soon after that because New Year's. And then we're not going to meet too soon after that. We're going to be hungover. Like, we'll take it nice and easy, ease into January. So the fact that they're willing to meet today and now willing to meet tomorrow on back-to-back days is like night and day in terms of progress. And, in order to make a deal happen, the two sides have to talk and they have to have conversations, and things like this are going to happen where they're going to have to give and take on a couple different things, and it's going to come from both sides. It's inevitable that it's going to come from both sides. So the fact that they are having these conversations 2 days in a row, it's really sad that in of itself is encouraging. But at this point it is. I mean, they really, really want Everybody wants baseball to happen. One way or another, these guys do want baseball to happen. I mean, that's the only way that these two sides make money. They need this to happen.
So we need it to happen because that's also a good way we make money. You know?
Otherwise, we talk about your moms all day, and that's fun too. But I mean, carries you a certain point.
Since the lockout has started, your mom has.
I've really had to fill in the gaps on stuff because
fill in the gap with your mom.
Fill in your mom's gap.
Oh wait, I have a button for that. They really have no choice because spring training is right around the corner. Games are scheduled to start in about a month, just over a month. We are right now, as we're doing this show live, it is January 24th. Pitchers and catchers should be reporting to spring training in, 2 weeks-ish. And, well, if you don't have, and they need time to ramp up they need time to wrap up free agency. They need time for people to know where they're going. Some people, especially younger. I mean, I guess most of them are going to know where they're going. It's not like it was with summer camp and all that kind of stuff. But
summer camp, I miss those days.
It's a good year. One of the things I was thinking about, though, I kind of had one of those epiphany moments. I was wondering if either way, is spring training really up in the air? Is it in jeopardy? Because minor league players can still play. They can still do everything. They're still, one of the things Brandon Gobes talked about with Vassay, because this is a 24-hour a day Vassay review podcast now, apparently. But
thanks, Dave.
Gomerzies was saying, there's actually already a solid group of players at Camelback. There's a solid group of players that are local that are going to Dodger Stadium and working out and doing, their stuff they need to do there. All of them, of course, off 40-man. They're not on 40-man. I don't really need to say any more of that. They're not recent major league players. So that's, a thing. That's a pretty big consideration that these minor league dudes could I guess technically play these games.
It's gonna be like a Shane Falco situation.
Yeah, it gets real scabby,
Yeah, I mean, I'm down to watch some scabs. Spring training's already pretty boring enough as it is. I mean, if you watch the first three,
they're already in the games by the third inning. Anyway.
You watch the first 2.5 innings, and you're pretty much all right, well, let's get blasted and go to Giordano's now because I don't want to watch this guy who is been in the minor leagues for 16 seasons pitch now. I'm not about it. So, I mean, you're at a point now where it's
you don't enjoy your Mike Kickmans?
Well, yeah, not too much. Mike Kick'ems.
They all look the same.
You're at a point now where, spring training's probably still technically in jeopardy, but it's not too much in jeopardy at this point. There's a real good chance that we start actual spring training games on time at this point. And a lot has to happen between now and then, and I understand that. And I know it's January 24th and we're running out of time here real quick, but I don't know. The sense of urgency from both sides seems to have picked up this week. I mean, today, the sense of urgency seems to have picked up. The fact that they're already kind of giving in on stuff, it's a good sign. Tells you things are headed in the right direction, that they're not, in 2020, you have to think way back to 2020, guys, when we had they had to decide how to play and how to get things started. If you remember, both sides were very hard-headed about what they wanted and unwilling to bend on it for a long time. And that's why it took a little bit longer to get things started. But I think this definitely has a different feel to it. I think it's still really funny that teams still technically have their fan fests scheduled. I think maybe, I don't think you're going to hit that one unless you want to go see Dave Roberts standing there or something like that.
Yes, our number 45 prospect.
Yeah, or I guess maybe alumni. Could you do that? You probably could do that because they're retired. Yeah, probably. If they're all retired, then you can. I don't know. I don't know the rules anymore. But what I'm saying is, I said this last week, and that was before the good news, and this is technically good news. I still contend that everything starts on time. We still play a full season, and we all get to celebrate and be happy until the Dodgers get eliminated from the playoffs.
Yeah, if games don't start on time, if any games don't start on time, that's when national media is going to pick it up, and that's when MLB will take a real hit amongst the non-everyday baseball fans. So we're heading in the right track. Hopefully something can somehow magically get done this week, and then what do you think? A 2-week super free agency period, and then it's everybody go report?
Yeah,
think they
I mean, it is going to be one of those situations. Where
I do think report date changes.
Report date will more than likely change because it's going to be pushed back when they start actually signing people. So they're probably going to want to adjust that just to allow for some time. And honestly, they might just need a week grace period to make that happen. And that might be something that they're willing to do because at this point, if you're a team, you've been sitting around doing nothing for the past couple of months, you better have it figured out who you're going after once this thing opens back up. And that really should be a freaking all-out frenzy. And it's going to be one of those situations where it's like the CBA goes into effect at 12:01 on this day or whatever, and it's going to be insane starting from then. Like 12:01, you're going to start getting phone calls from people, which is going to be nuts. I compared it last time to NBA free agency. It is very much going to be like NBA free agency.
All right, let's do. Is this a pool type thing? Who makes the first signing and who signs first? Like, I think we should do.
Oh, it's not going to be like a big signing.
No, I mean, no, like among of everybody, like which team makes the first big league signing? Which of the top, like 5 free agents signs first?
You can probably bet on that in Vegas right now, honestly.
Hey, Vegas, hit me up. I got ideas.
We need beer.
But Ryan asked a question along that line, those lines. Ryan over on YouTube asking, how long before agreement, like. What's that space between agreement done and they start playing? And probably roughly 2 weeks. But, they have that week and a half between pitchers and catchers reporting and the, spring training game starting. That's a massive waste of time. These dudes are out here. This isn't...
A lot of them have said it, too.
This is not 1960 anymore where they walk in and they get on that like fat jiggling machine. I mean, I think it was a little bit older. But, it's like they're not going there to get into shape. They're showing up in shape, ready to go play some damn baseball.
Your mom's a fat jiggling machine. Oh, man. It was a good time here, guys.
Yeah, imagine how much better it would be when we have people in here. We only got Matt Kemp. We got... Vin Scully on the side. Got Mike Piazza ball over here. So this is a fun one that we'll talk about and probably wrap up soon-ish or whatever the hell we want to do. Apparently we're supposed to have pronouns in our bio.
Yeah, I took him off. He was going off for no reason.
Oh, God.
I don't know, man. People are just upset for no reason because I think people are really bored and so they just want to have somebody to be upset about. It's not my fault your parents didn't love you.
Shout out to your parents.
Mine didn't love me either, to be fair.
Look at him now.
Happy birthday.
Speaking of not love, the umpires aren't getting any love. I'm just going whole hog on segues this year.
You're killing it right now.
Yeah. Robot umpires could be coming soon because per a report last week it came out that the electronic strike zone or robot umps will be making their way to AAA this season, and that's knocking on the door to the big leagues. My first thought was we're that much closer to getting rid of Angel Hernandez. Second thought is maybe that's why Joe West retired. It's like right there.
I better get out of here while the getting's good.
But they're getting the promotion. Robot umps are getting the promotion from low A last year and now just one step away from the show. Do you have any strong takes or thoughts or whatever, strong secretions on
secretions?
The robot ump thing.
I mean, in order for them to bump it up to AAA like this, they must have made some pretty vast improvements to the system that they had in place at low A, because the general feedback from the players was that especially big league players, was that they just didn't feel like the technology was ready. And I forget which big leaguer we talked to that about because, again, the days blur and I forget. But that seems to be the feedback where it's like, hey, like I'm all for it. Oh, Vlogboy. I asked Vlogboy about that. Gosh.
Oh, yeah.
The general feedback seems to be like, hey, we're on board as long as the technology's there. That's all it really needs to be. Because you look at it and there are a lot of mistakes and there's a lot of the highlights you see are lowlights of the robot umpires in action, things that just didn't register correctly and then the umpire has to ring them up or whatever it might be, even if he knows, hey, that's not a strike. So it's going to be interesting to see if they did drastically alter some sort of technology within the electronic strike zone, or if this is like the final tinkering, and maybe it'll be a couple years at the AAA level of them tinkering. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be a one and done type of situation or two and done, whatever it might be. I don't know. Anthony Keene points it out too. He says last season umpiring was just that bad. It got fast tracked, and there is a lot to that. Whatever it was about last year, I've heard a couple people mention this where it's like, hey, they went from umpiring in front of no fans which seems to be less pressure. It almost is like a scrimmage. And so there's not as much pressure. It's a little easier. You can be a little more relaxed with it. Maybe that kind of made them a little comfortable. And then they go back to having 30,000 fans, up to 50,000 fans at Dodger Stadium, booing you with every strike and every missed ball call. So that might have been a thing. There might have been something to that. Maybe there was a little too much pressure with them. The Korean Baseball League, where they're doing basically like systems based on like your performances. I think it was Korean Baseball League. I might be wrong, but based on your performance, like you can be demoted or fired from umpiring.
Oh, yeah.
And that is just not the case in Major League Baseball. You're evaluated by the Umpires Association, but aside from that,
when you get into union situations, man, you can get away with so much crap.
And Major League umpires have gotten away with a lot. I mean, look, we rag on Angel Hernandez a lot, but there's a reason. You watch what he's done in the past. You watch some of the calls that he's made. They're just so incredibly terrible, a lot of them, that it's just like, I don't know how you ever got here in the first place. Like, you couldn't have been like really good before and somehow just got really bad. It doesn't quite happen that way. Joe West has always been a terrible umpire from the beginning of time. He was born a terrible umpire.
He was something else, man.
So with that being said, I support it in the sense of I hated when they brought replay to baseball. I really hated it. It upset me, and I was annoyed, and I was like, my goodness, this is not the NFL. This is so stupid. I hate everything about it. Now I'm at the point where I'm like, this is really good for the sport because they've got it down. They have systems and rules for it. They make it so that the pace of play hasn't been too drastically affected most of the time. Some Craig Council games really slow down, man. I don't know what else to tell you, but if that technology is right, whatever, man. I'm there with. I'll be cheering for those robot umpires.
Yeah, those changes are always hard. You know, like Ryan says, he says I'm a baseball traditionalist, but like this last year changed my mind after all the egregious calls. I would say a lot of us, if we're here in late, mid, early, whatever, if we're here in January and there's a lockout and we're still talking about baseball, like. We're into baseball. We're probably traditionalists, and we don't like change to our wonderful game. But sometimes the change isn't that bad. I think they had the robot ump type thing where like it's essentially like a buzzer in your ear, right, or something along those lines.
Yeah, it's a little AirPod.
Yeah. Airbud, favorite. Love that show.
Yeah, he's
dead. I love that guy. One of the original Airbud is dead, and then like the 15 after him. Rest in peace, Airbud. But I watched the. Arizona Fall League, back when you could do things a little bit, and we saw the guy. He had like a whole set rigged on him, and nothing happened. Like it didn't affect the game at all. If anything, it was more fun because it was baseball in November.
Tim brings up a good point. He said Joe West had a real good wild card game. Went out on a high note. Country Joe, take me home.
I would have preferred the other way. Like him just have like that Angel Hernandez game.
Get him booed off the field.
With that he had against, what was it, Sox, Yankees?
Yeah, where he missed like 6 calls.
It's like 6 feet off the base and misses the calls. There were some issues voiced with the robot umps that I could also agree with. It's like, there are players, probably more particularly catchers in this situation, but even pitchers, you get the players going up and down from AAA to MLB and all of that. That's got to kind of affect you a little bit, knowing that one strike zone is going to be that much tighter, and then you have MLB strike zone that could be all over the place if a pitcher knows how to do this, or a catcher.
Yeah. It's definitely be interesting to watch like frame rates changing within baseball, especially for those guys going up and down. Catchers
are going to lose out on money because that is a marketable skill. That's been a marketable skill for the last 10, 15 years.
There's been a couple catchers that have made it to the big leagues because of their ability to frame balls.
And you're also going to get the umpires.
Austin Barnes has stayed in the big leagues because of his ability to frame balls.
Grit. It's also got grit.
Riverside grit.
There's the replacement vacation umpires as well that are going to have to go to the big leagues and not have a new flavor in their ear.
If they're they go from minor leagues to the big leagues and they're sitting there waiting for the call in their ear.
What am I supposed to do?
They're like, oh, we can strike.
Oh God, what do I?
It'll be interesting to see. Again, it's one of those things where the technology just has to be there, and I have no idea if it's there or not. I don't think anybody really knows at this point. Who even knows what the technology is? Because I really don't.
Lynn Brown says that it'll get hacked, and hey, watch out. Them Astros players are they're going to be in there rigging the wiring. I mean, these umpires' rooms are in the stadium, so they could find their way in there, rig the wiring, and all of a sudden they know exactly. I mean, I don't know how that affects anything like in the situation, but you know, at any time we could throw in a good Astros cheating, we're gonna do that because why not?
This is my show.
We had a little while back. There we go. 21 Eric_LA through 499 on a super chat our way. We appreciate you, Eric. Any updates on Muncy? The last we've heard from Muncy, I know he was on another podcast thing today, I believe. I haven't heard what happened. I'm sure he's not going to say very much. The last time we heard anything from Muncy, it was revealed that he had torn his UCL, like we assumed in the situation, and then they lied about, essentially, that he did not have any ligament damage. So boo on the Dodgers and boo on him. He's alive. He is well. He could probably swing. I don't know if there's going to be any effect on his opening day status.
I mean, at this point, we're probably not going to know until the CBA is up or
not going to know
locked in,
because they can't talk about anything right now.
No, yeah, players aren't even actually players right now. They're just normal people like you and me. They're all playing Twitch.
They're all gamers now.
They're starting OnlyFans.
What is Mookie Gaming?
I don't know. I've avoided all the gaming channels because I would rather use my time better. I also am really bad at gaming, even though I play a lot.
Don't you play a lot? How are you bad?
Man, just because you do something a lot doesn't mean you're good at it. Ask my ex-wife.
I saw May good ex-wife joke in there.
Thank you.
I saw May earlier about the golf, and the guy had I guess he had a golf bag. It said golf trip 1988 and whatever, and something along the lines of you've been playing since 1988. He teamed up with some random dude. He's yeah. Wow, I thought you would have been better by now. So that was it. It was a long way around. That is how you kill memes with FRG. New segment?
I've been golfing since 2020, and
you've barely been golfing since then?
Yeah, that's when I started.
Oh.
That was a pandemic. What was I supposed to do, man?
That's fair.
Couldn't go to the gym. Couldn't drink in the bars late at night and cry.
Make mistakes.
So I drank at the golf course and cried with no carts, because remember when they didn't allow us to have carts for a while and you had to walk 10 miles?
Carts give you coronas.
Yeah, well, we were promised carts and then we showed up and they weren't there. So I had to carry my bag around. Almost threw up.
Never do that, man. Yeah. Look, golf is made to drink and drive. It is not made to exercise with. That's just, these are the rules. I don't make them up. I just come up with them.
Mookie's been doing a lot, though.
Mookie's doing everything.
He's making businesses with his wife, his new wife. He's obviously getting married, which is fun for him. Got it married. He's doing gaming channels, multiple of them, and different games.
Pro bowling again?
He's professional bowling right now, because what else is he going to do? I think he finish 30th or something crazy?
29th or whatever. But
that's not bad for him,
Average of
for a guy who's not
just
a bowler.
When you turn 30, I think it's about time to hang up the baseball and softball spikes and just get into bowling.
I tried bowling. I'm really bad at it.
You are really bad at it, but you're a good drinker.
I'm a great drinker. Yeah. Isn't that what? Are you allowed to drink when you're professionally bowling? Is that performance enhancing drug?
You just pour it in your Gatorade or something like that.
They don't drink Gatorade. Who do you think you are? I am.
Who do you think you are? I am. Oh, things you got to know unless you don't. John says Mookie is making babies. He's already made a baby. Yeah, making babies.
She's adorable.
Swag Daddy McGee says, sorry I'm late. Happy birthday, Dad. I mean, Brooke, it is his birthday tomorrow, Tuesday.
My son.
So if you're listening to this in a podcast form, it's probably his birthday.
Yeah, and if that's the case, do not reach out to me.
All right, let's take a couple more comments, and then we'll get the hell out here. Dave Luna says, may I randomly ask if Steven Brault, formerly of the Pirates, should be considered by the Dodgers?
Does his arm work?
Yeah.
Then it should probably be considered.
How many arms and toes does he have? Because that's
I think if last year taught us anything, it's that you can never have too many pitchers in your system.
AJ, our boy AJ on the guitar, says, I'm not a player. I just game a lot. Yeah. Did you see?
Yeah.
It's AJ.
It's AJ.
Mm-hmm. Carnivorous Lunar Activity says, how many people found Jesus and the Rams this week?
I do like that, LA is suddenly rooting for the Rams.
LA is so fair weather.
Well, listen, dude, we didn't have an NFL team for so long. People are like, why are you a Saints fan? I was like, what else was I going to watch when I was a kid? What was I doing?
Yeah,
Eagles fan. People get all mad at us all the time.
Rams and Raiders moved out of when I was in like 4th grade. So like, what the hell was I supposed to do?
Yeah, I mean, I started playing football in high school, and I was like, I should probably start watching football. And I was like, who's on right now? Nobody. The Saints are on today. I like their uniforms. Saints fan. And then they won the Super Bowl like 3 years later. So good timing on me. Turns out every single one of my professional sports teams has won their championship in my lifetime, which is cool.
I was having this conversation with that one guy I'm not a fan of. Like, isn't it funny how
Your brother?
Yeah. Isn't it funny how we kind of like, now that our teams have all won, because I was telling him at one point about how, like when Dodgers got bounced last year in the postseason, I was like, honestly, it was kind of a relief. It was just very much kind of a relief because we needed that.
Where you can I can pull back and just watch play.
Yeah, we've
playoff.
won. Look at how much winning we've had as Lakers fans in our lifetime. When were you born? Like 2002?
93. Thank you. Yeah.
I'm good. I checked out of the Lakers like for like 10 years. Came back, they won a bubble championship, and that was a good time.
I very much checked out of the Lakers the second Kobe retired, and it was hard to come back.
Like everybody.
It was hard to come back.
Like everybody.
I came back when Kuzma was drafted, and that really hurts me to say. Yeah, I am one of 10 people that own a Kyle Kuzma jersey.
God, I hate that guy. I hate that name.
I mean, we met him, and it just ruined my life. So now I don't like him at all.
Yeah, that's right. He was kind of
he was a dickbag.
Yeah.
With all due respect to dickbags.
Shout out dickbags.
But yeah, we're talking about football. Go Ramses. Beat the Bay.
Yeah, you can do it. Clayton Kershaw's bestest friend in the whole wide world.
What is more worn out? The fact that they are friends and it's brought up a lot, or joking about the fact that it's brought up a lot?
Oh man,
they're both pretty bad.
Yeah, they're both pretty bad. I think people talking about it seriously is worn out. Thank God nobody cares about baseball.
Yeah, I hate everything.
I mean, I can imagine Rams make it to the Super Bowl and all. Wait, are we allowed to say Super Bowl? Make it to the big game, and so I think you get shot.
Oh, the big snack day.
Big snack day.
Yeah.
Admiral Snack Bar. I can imagine Joe Buck talking about it. I was going to say Joe West, but he's not calling games yet.
I'm supposed to move into my new apartment on Super Bowl. So
oof.
I think I'm going to just delay it one day.
But that's Monday. That's show day.
I'm going to delay it 2 days.
Attaboy. But that's Doug Day.
Oh, no.
Anyway, let's take more. Find comments. Do comments. We'll find that. Bengals, Niners, Super Bowl. Bengals still in it? I wasn't paying enough.
Joe Burrow, man.
I didn't pay enough attention to that first game. I heard it was a great game, but there's only so much football I could take in a day. Joe
Burrow is basically playing at elite level with the Corona Chargers offensive line. So, good for him because he has nobody protecting him.
So he's going to die. I got it. And we're learning. But, I guess.
Nando says first player to take out his frustration on the robot umps with his bat when they strike him out. Nando, it's still a human. You can't take out your frustration with a bat.
I don't know. I mean, ask Milton Bradley.
Oh, boy. Milton. Is he free?
Yeah.
He's walking freely?
He used to DM me talking shit about the Eagles.
That makes sense.
It's a good time.
Yeah.
Like a couple years ago. Miss you, Milton. I played golf with him once.
Really?
I played mini golf. I just snuck on the course and played with him and Jeff Weaver. It was a good time.
Did you play mini golf with Walker Buehler too?
Yeah, well, that was real mini golf. This was like real grass mini golf. I've told the story before. But
I don't listen to you.
Got my balls signed
by his mom.
Enjoy your Modelo, kids. Guys, that's about it. We had some fun. Appreciate you. We had a good amount of comments today. Good amount of people on the stream. We appreciate you guys. Baseball is coming back soon. Brooke has promised, and if not, I'll tell you where he lives. Well, his old house after he moves, and then you can go there and egg it. Is that cool?
Yeah, they're gonna be real mad.
Is that like a lease thing? Does that affect you? Are you gonna take any drywall?
Just like a big chunk of it.
Just take some drywall. Why not, guys? That's my tip to you. Just take things from the house when you leave. Or find us on the internet at DodgersNation.com. Do subscribe to the Blue Heaven podcast on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play, Stitcher Radio, Pandora. Everywhere your podcasts are available for free. We're on the Amazon. Go there, subscribe, and subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/DodgersNationTV. There's the thing. It's going to do the bell sound. You're going to enjoy that, I promise. We got some really cool stuff coming up this year because we got a big fancy office now.
Yeah, with like high roofs. It's all the way up there. It's good for us, guys.
High roof.
I shouldn't drink that beer so fast. Guys, I'm at BrookMe3. That's Real FRG
shit.
on Twitter and Instagram. You okay? We are at Dodger Nation on Twitter, at Dodger Nation on Instagram as well. You have something to add?
Follow the Blue Heaven Twitter
Roach
account.
says follow the Blue Heaven Twitter account because what better way to spend your time on Twitter than looking at me saying mom jokes?
Hashtag engagement.
Guys, thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for the birthday wishes. I appreciate that greatly. Tell your mom it's my birthday tomorrow, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.